Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mission Employable podcast. My name is Ryan West. I am your host. We have a great show for you today. We're in studio. I'm going to thank the guests. Thank you very much for coming in. We're doing more and more of these, so we have the cameras going. So if you're watching us on YouTube, hello, and thank you for joining us, and thank you for doing that. It's another way for us to get information out there. Today's show is all about the Iowa Department of Aging, and there's a lot of great things going on there. We're going to talk about what they're doing, the workforce programs. Specifically, we're going to be talking about how older Iowans can help fill some of those employment gaps that we have in the state, and talk about the statistics around that. If you didn't know, the Iowa Department of Aging mission is to provide resources, tools, and support to enable Iowa area agencies on aging, the AAAs, and partners with common goals to effectively deliver core services, information, and service assistance, nutrition, and health promotions, and services to promote independence to their customers. And I stole that right from the website, which is I'm notorious for doing, because I can't say it as good as that. Joining me on the microphone to talk all things Department of Aging is Kyra Hawley, who is the Employment Initiatives and Livable Homes Director. And I cannot believe I space is like literally half a block away from us, if that. Yeah. So just walked over. So today's today's like 300 degrees out. So thank you very much for making time, and welcome to the Mission Employable podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ryan.
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan of the pod.
Thank you for listening. I really appreciate that, and we're excited to have you on. And and when you sent over, sometimes with a guest, they'll send over a bunch of information they want to talk about, which makes this selfishly easier to put together questions sometimes. But there is a lot here. I feel like just because of so many folks who are, I think, starting to fall in this age range and the opportunities that are available, something we probably should talk about specifically with your agency down the road, perhaps even your directors. Well, there's just a lot there when you get on your website. So we'll get into that, but let's kick off a high-level overview of what your role is with IDA. We were talking, you came on right before the pandemic. What a time to come on. Yeah. And talk to us about some of those eye-popping statistics out there. Give us the rundown if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah. So my role at the Iowa Department on Aging is grant and project administration, technical assistance, and then really relationship development. I oversee, train, and support our employment programs and partners to really identify and improve our systems and better support individuals 55 and better towards employment. So pretty simple, but also kind of complicated.
Yeah.
And then really some statistics, like you mentioned, the Bureau of Labor Statistics recognizes that we have an aging workforce.
Sure.
And just some statistics, between now and 2030, the number of employees over 55 will grow 3 times at the rate of those under the age of 55.
Say that one more time.
Sure. So between now and 2030, the number of employees over 55 will grow at 3 times the rate of those under the age of 55. So just in percentages, that's 1.4% versus 0.4%.
That's crazy.
So, and then the annual increase of employees over the age of 65 will reach, that 5%.
Yeah.
So that's just a pretty big number. And then just here in Iowa, by 2030, persons over 60 will represent 30% of our population, our entire state population. So just and then for the first time in state history, that population of 60 and over will outnumber the number of individuals 18 and under for the first time in history.
Yeah.
So
I mean, crazy numbers. And we had the director from the AARP on here last summer.
Yeah.
And he busted out some crazy stats like that too. Let me ask, I got to ask this question. Do you guys, is it code to talk? Can you say baby boomer, or is that against the rules, or do you use that term at all, or is it just over the age of 55 is basically what you guys go with? Because I'm notorious for saying, oh man, baby boomers are leaving the workforce, and then I started thinking the other day when we putting this together, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't really say it like that. That's maybe too wide, so it's probably better to say age 55 and above, at least from this perspective.
It just starts to maybe like separate out people, and as we move through time,
Right.
those don't necessarily apply to
For sure.
everyone.
Yeah.
And as we talk about ageism,
Yeah.
separating out the generations doesn't necessarily provide as an inclusive of
Yeah.
a mindset.
For
So
sure.
I don't necessarily use those
Yeah.
terms, but you can definitely see those in our society and as you move through as well.
Well, the bottom line is there is an aging workforce, and as we look to help employers, what we do with this podcast, try to come up with different ideas, solutions with the guests to help, fill these needs. And individuals in this pocket is huge and only going to get bigger. So it's really great to have you on and representing and talking about IDA and other fellow agency. Because this one kind of gets lost in the shuffle, I think, where you're always promoting, high school. But our director's good about bringing this up as well. It's like there's this huge group of adults, you know what I mean, 30s, 40s, and now even 50s, and older over the next few years who we need to fill jobs with too.
Definitely, Future Ready Iowa still includes a mature worker.
That's right. Well said. Have you since you've been on pre-pandemic? Have you seen, this is a little off script, but any trends with what folks are wanting to do workforce related, or is that something maybe you haven't been able to delve into?
Yeah, I can actually have some information.
Okay, well, hold that thought until we get down there. Okay, sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
No, you're good.
I'm interested. Okay, so let's move to the next question. I've kind of beat this first one to death here, I guess. No. One of the great programs that we are fortunate to have in our Iowa Works offices is the Senior Community Services Employment Program. We commonly affectionately refer to it as CCSEP. That you guys facilitate. It's not in every one of our offices seated, but we work with the program throughout the state. Mm-hmm. Give us a scoop on what that is and why it's so beneficial, because that's a great program.
Yeah, so CCSEP is a program that serves low-income adults 55 and better. The program provides paid job skills training to assist participants in building skills and experiences to support them to obtain and maintain employment. Yeah. It meets this goal by placing participants at government or nonprofit organizations where they receive paid training for community service work.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You're good.
I just, we haven't talked about that program a lot on this, just briefly a few times with our own internal staff. Mm-hmm. What are, give us, and maybe this is where you're going with this, but, why is it so impactful? Obviously, the definition of it means well, but the reality is we have a lot of folks out there over the age of 55 who are low income and need an extra help, right?
For sure. So our grant, it's a federally funded grant by the U.S. Department of Labor, and so our grantees, so it's National Able Network and AARP Foundation, and us at Idaho Department on Aging, we facilitate the program here in Iowa, actually, not National Able Network. AARP Foundation is our sub-awardee for the Department on Aging, and we have 517 training positions available in the state of Iowa. So it's in most of the state of Iowa. You can access it in all of the counties.
Sure.
And so one of the things that makes it really unique is that you can be in it up to 48 months on and off. So it allows for the participant to come in, train, get a job, and if they maybe find themselves unemployed, they can come back and experience that training position again.
Yeah.
Do a different training position at another governmental agency or nonprofit, try something new, or do something different. So it kind of allows for flexibility for that person to try new things, do different experiences, maybe explore a different career field, and gain different trainings and skills.
Yeah, and if you're an employer and want to get linked up with that, or that's
a host agency.
A host agency.
Yeah, you want to host a participant. Yeah. You want to become, a pipeline for, becoming, the person that accepts these participants. Get in contact with us and get connected. Yeah.
And you can do that by heading your guys' website, is that right? Or through one of our IowaWorks offices. By the way, let's plug your website. It's IowaAging.gov. There's a ton of information on your guys' website, a ton of information. And so the bottom line there, what I was going to say is, as an employer, I can't stress this enough. If you create like this portfolio of different ways you're trying to look for workers, you can add this into your portfolio, and it's a great way to build a pipeline of workers. Not only that, it's a great program. Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, we had 89 individuals exit for employment last year with this program, so a great way to get connected.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great program that we're. Iowa Workforce Development / Iowa Works, really Iowa Works, because they're the ones that administer it. And you guys, obviously, Department of Aging, to really help both sides. So great information. Okay, so switching gears, talk to us about the Older Workers Employment Program. So OEP, I believe, is how we're calling that, and how that is impactful in getting folks over the age of 55 with disabilities into workforce. Again, common themes here. These, folks with disabilities are still our largest group of folks we're trying to employ in the state, and there's no age different. It's everybody. As you said before, Future Ready Iowa has no age date on it. So talk to us about that program.
Sure. So the Older Worker Employment Program, or OEP, the department has collaborated with Iowa Vocational Rehabilitation Services, or IVRS, to create this. Actually, it's the only program like it in the nation. So it braids together funds to house an older worker employment specialist at each of our state area agencies on aging, where the employment specialist then provides employment services to Iowans age 55 and older with disabilities. So examples of services would include assessments, assisting job candidates with completing applications, resumes, but really also they help employers as well. So we have those 6 employment specialists, and they provided 138 services last year of consultation. So things like customized employment, job carving, employer development, information and referral, job description development, just really wraparound services for employers as well. So it's not just for that job candidate, but also for that employer, really providing that holistic service to make sure that job candidate can stay stabilized. And then those 6 employment specialists stay on with that job candidate after they're closed in IVRS services for a year, and they follow along with them, checking in with them on a monthly basis to provide that additional support, saying, hey, do you need help with anything else? Are you reporting your benefits? Are you doing anything else? Can we get you nutrition supports or any of those other aging services that they may need to help continue to stay, stable? Housing supports. When the pandemic hit, we provided a lot of additional supportive services to those individuals to help them maintain employment. So really providing a good wraparound there.
Well, and that's, we hear about this, building and setting up a community for your employees, and no different here. I think it's key too, because I know one of the things that is kind of common, I think, with employers is not that they don't want to hire folks with disabilities, rather they don't know how, or sometimes they're scared to, or they're not equipped to. And this is yet another one of those programs that can help, ease your way into it and get going on it.
And I want to say, I know I mentioned, a little bit more about some information. With this program, we had 84 individuals who were able to, were supported with our team to become employed. And for this one, I have a little bit more details about the industries that we're working with.
Awesome, yeah.
And so the biggest employers that we supported were hospitality, human services, and then transportation and logistics.
All of them at the top of the list.
Yeah.
We're looking for work. I guess everybody at this point, but those are at the real top of the list.
Yeah, so just really wanted to highlight that. And then I wanted to give a little bit more information. So of these 84 individuals that we supported, 27 were supported to full-time employment, so that 40 to 30 hours a week. And then 57 were in that part-time employment, so 30 hours a week. And then I did have a little bit of information just about their hours, or their collective wages. So their collective wage was $13.51 an hour, and then the highest wage earner was $35.65 an hour. Wow. So just giving a little bit more information about what they were making as well. That person was actually part-time and working from home, and was an educator for a master class for a mentorship for for educators who are becoming administrators.
Okay.
So kind of just more information on the variety of people. And I know, like last week, we were on a call for a guy who was going to go off his benefits for being a driver. So just cool.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, and very well said, because you really covered the whole rainbow there of who can participate in this. Everybody. I mean, essentially any industry. So that's great. And that's great with the wage too. I mean, that's because employers are, their wages are all over the place. And so that's great information to have. If you want more information on that one, we want to send folks to IowaAging.gov.
Yeah, yep. And then they can get in contact with me too if they want to. They want to present to our staff or get in contact with any of our team as well.
Okay, very cool. So yet another one of those pieces you can put into your portfolio looking for workforce. Okay, so let's talk about the site a little bit more. We love to promote them with every guest that we have. No different here. You guys have a lot of stuff out there. I cannot stress that enough. And as an employer or human resources manager or marketer, whatever it is for a company, how you can really use that to help you strategize in looking to fill your workforce needs. Talk to us about the maps and the resources that you guys have, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So we have I call them directories, but they each have county by county maps where you can access the contact information for our employment specialists and our CCSEP staff, our project site directors, and you can access their information directly to get directly in contact with them, because they'll be able to really connect you to the resources and supports to best connect with their teams.
Okay. And then lastly, I think this is where we can really get to the question I had asked you before about some popular stuff here. I'm just really curious about this. So talk to us. You guys have a new program. You, like us, like to acronym everything. It looks like, man, it's just a state thing. I don't know. It reminds me of being in the military, but this is the Age Inclusive Management Strategies for Iowa, commonly referred to as AIMS program. This is a new program just from this year, I think, right? And how's that's going to help Iowa? Talk to us all about that. Again, it's the Age Inclusive Management Strategies for Iowa, AIMS program, AIMS.
Yeah, so this actually, we just started it in July.
That's what I thought. Yeah. When you had sent me, right.
Yeah, so the overarching goal of the AIMS project is to transform how Iowa employers recruit, retain, and facilitate self-determined retirement for the growing population of persons over 50 years old. So in particular...
So this one's over 50, not just 55.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And so in particular, the goal is to support employers to utilize an expertly designed and piloted, tested web-based platform to explore their current efforts with like age inclusive policy and programs, so your current HR policies. And the team's real objective is to support employers to explore their policies and how they might be excluding workers, or older workers, and maybe eliminating them from, applying or staying at their current positions. But really, the employer is the person that's really controlling the process and leading the process and choosing how they are implementing and evaluating their barriers.
Mm-hmm.
And so our role is really to support and facilitate and ask questions and help with that beginner's mind piece, and to help support employers in finding ways to problem solve and assist them and finding ways to really find solutions to age-inclusive strategies.
For sure. And I was excited to ask you the question as I was talking right over you, but this is, we've heard more about this through the podcast. I've learned a lot just from listening to guests like yourself bring these things up during these podcast episodes. It's pretty amazing what you hear that I've been in this long enough where you still don't know. It's just another way to help employers impact and build their workforce.
Yeah.
Did you guys have you wanted to do this for a while, or what prompted you to start this one? I mean, just the all-inclusive, trying to get folks over the age of 50, 55 to not be left off the map of employers when they want to hire?
Yeah, I think it's just an overall, collective need.
Yeah.
I think, knowing what we know, and
Sure.
I think there's just a need out there, plus knowing what we know, and I think knowing the way forward. I think if you are listening to employers and you hear really what's going on in the HCBS workforce, you hear it going on in you hear it in every industry out there. I think our management really heard the need and heard employers and what they were saying, and I think it's a real opportunity for us to lead and collaborate together with our partners, and I think our management heard that. And then whenever the University of Iowa brought this forward, this initiative was piloted in Colorado with 30 employers, and we're going to beef it up, I think, and try to shoot for more than that. So we're really starting that recruitment phase of our project. So we're starting now to say who wants to participate in the project. So we're really excited to start that recruitment phase and see who's interested.
Right.
But I think overall, just hearing about the what can we do to be part of the solution, and this is an opportunity, I think, for us to say this is a need, and how can we help, and use our skills to contribute.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and we're doing some of the same things here at Iowa Workforce Development, and looking to help employers and job seekers. It's constantly evolving, and these are all programs that have to be part of it. I hope employers use the resources you've talked about, and certainly we know job seekers are. Again, you can find out more by going to IowaAging.gov. Great stuff. What do you think the biggest goal is over the next year? End on this. I mean, is there something you'd love to do to see over the next year or two, or what are your thoughts there?
I think we're really just trying to continue to increase the support that we're providing to employers, and continue to expand the supports that we're offering to our staff, and continuing to provide and get our name out there, so that job candidates can get the best service that they deserve.
Absolutely. Great stuff, ladies and gentlemen. You have been listening to Kyra Hawley, who is the Employment Initiatives and Livable Homes Director with the Iowa Department of Aging. Great stuff. Thank you for coming in studio, and I look forward to talking to you guys down the road.
Yeah, I appreciate it.